Welcome.
And welcome to the show. I am your host, Joey Wobbs. That is Mr. Link. And welcome to WabbsLink. We are on episode 41. And we didn't get a redirect today. So that's no big deal. I didn't get the cast fast enough. I forgot to message him.
But redirect or not, we're here and we're happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have a guest later on today. He's just getting some things taken care of. But Link, my G, how's things going?
I'm tired. I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. But we made it to another Thursday. It's good. Work's fine. Life's okay. No women to stress me out right now. It's a good time, man. It's a good time to be a Liverpool fan. So,
I know, right? You guys are moving.
We're moving. We'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll actually start with you too. So I had the day off and I played Football Manager all day.
Fucking lucky bastard.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I took my car out this morning. I don't know if you saw my Snapchat, but
I didn't.
Anytime I have a day off, I take my car out into the mountains, into Tonto National Park, which is only like a 30-minute drive for me.
Yeah.
So it was nice. Nice little cruise this morning before it got too hot. And it's 112 degrees now, so
Jesus.
Shit.
Yeah.
So,
bro.
Link, this week, Wirtz got all cleared up by like at the end of the week. Like that's like first
part of the medical done today. Hey.
So that's all done. Kwanzaa looked like it's going the other way for like 35-ish million. Am I right by saying that?
35 ish on the lower end.
All right, that's fair. So 35 million for Kwanzaa. We had the Wirtz deal come in.
Mm-hmm.
So news today for Liverpool was Isak and Guéhi. So I mean, we can start with Guéhi first to kind of get it out of the way. Like, what's your thoughts on Guéhi? And what do you think?
Let's take it back. We're gonna get to Guéhi. Let's take it back. So when we started the whole transfer window talk, was it early May, end of April?
Yeah.
We talked about how your excitement for the Liverpool window. I think that's coming to fruition very early in the window. I did mention Slot wants to get his window done early, and we're seeing that play out in our transfer rumors and activity. Big up, Billy. And
I told you though that you guys were the most interesting team this window.
Yeah.
I said that this was going to happen.
And
like this was my exact words was you guys are the most interesting club in this window. Okay.
Yeah.
Point blank and period.
And I tried to elaborate on that just by breaking down where the window could unfold. And I said the number, I think it was 7 on this show, 6 or 7. And right now, and you can count Georgie because we bought him in last year, but for this window, we're looking at Wirtz, Frimpong, Kirkes, Georgie. If you add the 2 in today that we're going to talk about, that's 6 people. You know, we know that was dependent on outgoings, and you see Kwanzaa leaving, and now that brings us to Guéhi. I think you're much more well-versed on Guéhi than I am. I don't watch him in particular too much. I
watch a lot of well-rated.
Yeah, you do. And I know he's well-rated. I know he's versatile and that he can play on either side of the center back pair.
He's not even the best defender on his own team, unfortunately.
He's not. But I think when we make these big signings, if we're going to try and get Isak as well as Wirtz, then we still have to try and stick with the old recruitment MO, which is savvy, opportunistic buys. Whatever the price tag is for Guéhi, if Liverpool values it as a good buy, it'll be partly because he has a year left on his contract. So
yeah, the only downside to that is they have we have a 20% sell on it. So like they're gonna have to sell for, anybody who's thinking is gonna be 30, 40 million is just delusional at this point.
I don't think it'll be 30 or 40. I think the terms will be favorable just to allow that to happen. I don't think that Liverpool will go into it and allow us to be bullied because they need that money on top of
I don't think it's
the
that they didn't need the money at all, bro. I'm gonna be honest. It's
if they
not
do
them
sell.
needing money. It's
It's
just
not
that, like, because here's the thing is like with Chelsea, right? Like Chelsea, think about it this way, right? Like if you put a 40 million pound or you put a 40 million pound bid in for him, right? If you put a 40 million pound bid for him and we put a 35 million pound bid
They
for him,
take the Chelsea bid because it's more money for them.
exactly. So
I'm saying
that's where I think that they still have the leverage because we still need a center back. You see what I'm saying? So they're gonna ask for 50. Like that's what they're gonna ask for.
They may ask for 50 from us, but I think it'll be something similar to what Arsenal did with Zubimendi, is that we will pay more to get favorable terms so that we're not shelling out as much money in this window. I can see something like that. If he goes for 55 and we only pay 10 up front.
That's fair. I think Hugo Ekitike's number is going to drop, and the terms are pretty favorable for that one from what I read.
The terms are going to be
pretty favorable. Then
go ahead.
And then Jacob, don't worry, my brother. I'm going to give you like all the world for you to go. I want you to hold the trophy up. I want all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to give you your own. Yeah, I want you. I want all of that. I want all of that, Jacob. So I'm just gonna let you. I'm just gonna let me finish this conversation with Link because I think the only transfer news that I want to talk about is linked to your team as well. So like we can get into that here in a second. But
whatever
Link,
you want to do.
Link, my G, and Link, my G. The last thing is this Isak deal, okay? Yeah. I'm gonna say what I feel about it, okay, and then I'm gonna let you go because I think you're gonna be surprised with the way that I feel about it.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. But before you go, remember how the last time this conversation?
No, I know that, but that's not how this is gonna go. I'm gonna tell you this right now.
All right.
So
go ahead.
I actually think that Isak to Liverpool is an inevitability. I think it may not happen in this window. Like I really like it may not. Like I really believe that. Like it may not happen in this window. Okay. But if it's not this window, as long as like health concerns permitting, like it will happen in the next year. Like that's the way I see it potentially like kind of playing out within the next year. Okay. I don't see it happening like because I don't believe Eddie Howe is this coach that people believe he is. I think once it gets back to 2 games a week, we're going to see the same Newcastle we saw last year. Like the type of intensity of football that they play isn't sustainable for 2 games a week. It's just not. That's just my opinion behind it. And I feel like eventually we're going to see like the drop off of Newcastle, and you probably end up with Isak for less than what you were going to spend this year for. Like that's literally how I see it end up playing out. So like unless you guys decide, I'm gonna just pull the trigger on Ekitike because that's something that we could do too. Like I think that's really how I see this playing out. Because bro, you could still buy a striker. It doesn't even have to be like a big money striker. Like
right, and it still works.
You're gonna hate me because I'm gonna bring his name up again. But you could buy Santi for like 35, 40 million from Milan, right? I'm just saying you could buy Santi and still go for Isak next year when selling Jota off after next year.
I see that point. I don't like
and it doesn't have to be Santi. I'm just using Santi as the example, right?
It's the idea behind the striker that we buy. Like if we buy a certain striker, we can still make the move for Isak in a year's time.
Exactly, and it doesn't even have to be a striker that you spend a ton of money on because you're getting goals from so many other places.
Yeah.
So like that's the way I see it personally. Like I personally see this as this is inevitable for Liverpool. Like they're gonna end up with Isak. Like as much as everybody is hating the idea of it, they're gonna end up with Isak, and that's just so like once again I ain't scared of nobody. Like my football team is just growing as a unit. slowly, and I'm okay with that. They did their duties this year, so like I'm not scared of y'all, regardless on who the fuck you get. So like to me, like I like this just because like it provides a real challenge for us, our football team as Chelsea fan base, like to actually step up and do something. Like we have to step up and do something if that's the way that they're gonna move. And I still think that Chelsea's gonna move very, very intentively after this Club World Cup. Like I still think that there's a lot for Chelsea to do after this Club World Cup. So like with Liverpool, like kudos to you guys. Like kudos to you guys for the intent that you're making. That's how like I see it really.
Okay. All right. So on my end, I forgot where I was going to even start with this. What was the point? What was the last point you made on Isaac? Why am I losing my mind right now?
I just don't. I think it's inevitability. I think it's just eventually
Oh,
that's what we're
oh,
gonna
yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so I feel like the transfers we're making now are to get the money to make him make a decision, right? If you're Isaac, you can try and hold out. Like, say Isaac does want to go to Liverpool, right? Because if we're going off the same idea that I had with the Wirtz thing, whereas I don't think the rumors would slowly be creeping up unless we've gotten some indication from Isaac's team somewhere that we should be trying to do this. That's the first thing. The second thing is
But this is also a little bit different in the sense that he could be just using you to get a contract, and that with the words that
he
shit was
could,
never.
yeah, you
And
it
even
could
with
be.
a no, but even with a contract, like that's not a big deal. You like contracts
Well,
mean nothing, but he could just
contracts
get
mean
paid
nothing.
more for this year as
Yeah,
well.
I think that transfer value for Newcastle holds another year longer, regardless of
Mm-hmm.
that contract, because he's got 3 years left. But what I
Yeah,
was gonna say is maybe we're using Liverpool, we're using Hugo, all these rumors to try and pressure Isak into making his decision faster. Because I've said this off stream, but I think Liverpool is waiting on either a full on transfer request or a tongue in cheek like, yeah, put the bid in and I'll do what I need to do to try and make it happen. But I kind of agree with the point where you're saying where like Isak will end up at Liverpool. I would like that, but I fully think that Hugo is a viable backup option, and they're using that to force Isak to say, "I want to leave."
if the ball drops on Hugo, I think Chelsea's gonna go in for him as well. Like
Yeah,
deep. And we say that we said this last time. Like nobody's gonna spend the 84, right? So like eventually, some like the ball's gonna drop, and like somebody's gonna have to make the move. Now,
and go
Jacob,
ahead.
I want to get Jacob in this conversation. Jacob, we're talking about Liverpool. Obviously, you've been sitting here for a bit. Thank you for coming on first and foremost. Okay, because
Appreciate
this
you.
is a little bit different than like our normal banter type conversations. Even though I love you, period. Like I just like what you do is amazing. So like I want you to be you, but I also want you to tell us what you think about what's going on at Liverpool. Like truly, like what do you think is going on with all this? You've never seen Liverpool move this way, other than one other time, right? Back when they bought Van Dijk and Alisson. Like, what do you think's going on at Liverpool right now? Do you think that this is realistic for them to buy two players of this price? I guess would be.
Well, I think whenever you look at the fact that the previous year they only had one incoming in Chiesa and they barely even
Mm-hmm.
used him, and he's the only one that's like super linked out the door. I think that that speaks pretty highly and indicatively of what the management and ownership are trying to do together. Because for a guy to win the league in his first year with very minimal investment, you got to look at that and say, well, what can he do when we do invest? And I think
Right.
that we're seeing the ownership do just that. They're showing that, hey, we'll drop over 100 on a player that we need in a creative 10 with Verts. For me, the Frimpong deal was a freaking steal. So if you're thinking about it in a sense of like under 150 million for Verts and Frimpong to be pulled away from their Bundesliga club, and they both played the same place, they both won the same Bundesliga. I think that that one speaks highly of the intent of Liverpool, that they're trying to do something special, and who knows what they can do with this. Of course, those are two players you're going to have to keep a close eye on and say how are they translating into the Premier League. But from a Liverpool standpoint, you got to say like they're finally doing what everyone asked them to do. You know, I've heard a lot of Liverpool fans say FSG out. The FSG don't care. It's, you know, they care about baseball and yada yada.
Well, they
As far as I'm
obviously care more about this team than they
That
do the
narrative
baseball.
has changed. We make them more money.
That changed these last 2 weeks. Like craziness, the way it changed these last 2 weeks.
When you invest a lot of money in something, there's something you're hoping to get out of it. Bottom
just
line.
to give you kind of like an update. I don't know if you watch baseball or know anything about baseball, but
Very
the
little.
Boston Red Sox just traded away their best player for a bunch of like farm
Prospects.
because they didn't want to pay the guy. They traded away their best player. It was about to cost them at least anywhere between $350 to $500 million to pay this guy, and they just traded his ass away. So like,
well, maybe that's part of the. Maybe that player is part of the reason why that last summer, you know? Yeah, exactly. Because if you think about it, like they are a company, a business that have legs and arms in different pools. And, you know, the more you pull out of one pool, the more you can dip your other parts into the other pool. And I think that I use pool specifically because of Liverpool. That's a little fun joke there.
We got you.
But I think that, you know, from a standpoint like of a observer, not a fan of the club, it's very much like, okay, cool. And if you get Isaac, it's over, in my opinion. Like the league, you won it without all this. Now you're just improving. You should be able to win the league again. But shoulds and coulds and woulds don't necessarily always work out in football.
Right.
Like we shouldn't have probably lifted a trophy, but guess what did, motherfucking hey. Come on.
Hey, lift it up for us. Lift it up for us.
Hey.
Let's see some You should have done the shuffle. I should have done
the driving around.
Don't let Staffy see. He's been extra salty. Every time he sees this thing, he gets real upset.
Staffy, I don't want to bring up a sore subject, but Staffy has had a rough couple of months, man.
He can hold that.
It was not nice to Staffy.
No, we'll have Staffy on soon. Well, we don't got to talk about Staffy.
I was just, Nick's, Nick's
got
hit by the
last rough couple of months himself. All right.
Talk about Spurs.
But yeah, to finish up my thought there on Liverpool, it's just they're acting serious. They're acting like a big club. They're doing what they should be doing, if not even maybe a little bit more than they should be doing. And I think from a fan standpoint, you've got to look at that in an excited way. I think from a rival standpoint, you got to look at it in, well, what the hell am I doing to compete with this kind of a way? Because if last year we couldn't compete and now they're dropping 200 million plus on 3 different players, you got to imagine that they're going to be improved, probably have a deeper Champions League run. You know, they did beat us out to 1 final this year. We were, 90 minutes away from 2 finals, Tottenham Hotspur, Ange Postecoglou, shout them out. But hey,
shout out.
Going toe to toe with the winners like that, shoo. It's like I never thought I was gonna beat up Mike Tyson, but I got a couple hits in there I didn't think I would.
I'm so glad you just transitioned, bro. Just transition, bro.
Hey, let me just leave this on this one note for Liverpool. So if you add in Georgie, the 3 transfers that we're gonna have done before this month is over, official, is gonna be 220 mil with those 4, right? You put in the sales that we'll have, we'll probably end the window with around a net spend of 200, 225 mil. If you compare that to what City's done in the last 12 months, it's almost on par.
Where's the link, what type of links have Harvey Elliott had?
Leverkusen. There was Wolves before the season ended.
Yo, if Leverkusen spend more money, bro, that is disgusting.
Ten Hag might save us, bro. I might get
it. Ten Hag, you might have to support those dudes, bro. The way that Ten Hag saves.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I might be a Ten Hag fan.
Because that he's funding everything else.
Mm-hmm.
He might just be doing that because he's like, get him, go get that United. Keep shitting on him.
Yeah.
Who knows what he's thinking?
See what they did to me? Fuck them.
Take all my best players. Piero Hincapié as well. He's leaving for somewhere.
Give us to him on the cheap. That's what I'm saying. Give me Piero.
Where is he? Where is he leaving to?
I heard him linked to some Tottenham fans have been following that guy for. Yeah, because it was someone that was in for Kuti, but they ended up going for Piero Hincapié.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So now Kuti, we just closed all the avenues for his escape, like a dog trying to find an exit to the house, bro. He ain't getting out of
Leverkusen will
here.
let us take a third player. I highly doubt Leverkusen would let us take Piero. That would.
No, dude, I doubt it. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be fucking surprised though.
Nah, there's no way. Not a triple swoop.
Bro, I mean, it would be right about the same price as Gahey, I think.
But the
I
homegrown,
don't think
I
it would
think it's
be
the
like
4
that
and 5.
much different in price. The problem is he's left-footed.
He's,
So, I mean,
he's left-footed and homegrown. That's the thing.
Oh,
The
homegrown.
Spurs. Gay's homegrown.
He's like Colombian
Piero? Piero's
or
not
some
homegrown.
South American.
No, Gahey.
Piero's from Ecuador.
Oh,
Gahey.
Gahey.
Gahey's
Oh,
homegrown.
Gahey. Oh, you're gonna
Can't
need
spell
homegrown
Gahey
players
without-
the
Yeah.
way that you're selling away your homegrown players right now.
Exactly.
So yeah, I could see it.
Spurs. Jacob,
Yes.
what
Yes.
you got going on right now, bro? Talk to us. I saw Matthias tell.
Yeah, you got all right, so yeah,
Say.
Jacob, like what? Wait. Like, let's take a step back. Congratulations, Jacob. Okay,
Thank
like
you.
that's first.
Thank you.
You congratulations. That's like you got to see that in your lifetime, and like that's good. Like you got that out of the way, right? Like when the Kansas
None of
City
your
Chiefs
Arsenal
won
friends
their
have,
first
so
Super
that's
Bowl,
nice.
When Kansas City Chiefs won their first Super Bowl, I felt the same way. I felt like we finally did it, bro.
Is this Spurs
15
Super
years
Bowl?
of war a trophy, man. First, like for 15 years, everything I ever try to say positive about,
Bro, we didn't win a
it always
playoff
ended
game.
in war a trophy.
for 15
War a
years,
trophy.
bro. We didn't win a playoff game for 15 years. Try that one on for size. Yeah, like I get you. I feel your pain, right? Like I know what you were feeling. I'm happy that I'm happy that Ange did it. That's like the most happy that's like honestly, I wasn't happy for anybody else but Ange. I'm not gonna front. Like I didn't want him to. He was just dealing with so much like pressure throughout the entire season, and the way that people were talking to my man. Like the way that people were talking to my man, like I just couldn't I didn't like that shit. The way that he was being talked to. Okay, that was the first thing. Spurs, fuck you guys. Congratulations, but fuck you guys. Like I don't care.
I have so much beef with Spurs, low key.
But
I don't know why
Bro.
you would. Why you? It's like the
Bro,
king leaving the
why-
castle to
what
go
is-
fight the
what
peasants.
is-
Why you leave us alone?
what is your thoughts? I know that you weren't happy with Ange leaving and all that other good jazz.
He didn't leave.
So,
He was
like-
shot in the back of the head.
Right. Okay. Levy
You ever
fucked.
seen Old Yeller?
Yeah, Levy fucked.
It's like if Old
Okay.
Yeller, but he didn't have rabies, and they shot him anyway.
Bro, I want to let you go, but I know you're gonna rant, so I'm just trying to get you past this Ange part so you can get to the top.
Oh,
of the
I'm
rest.
over it, dude. Why is everyone
Are
keep
you?
thinking I'm over it?
It's okay. You can talk
All right,
then.
so
I'm over it. I'm good.
all right, so what's your thoughts on Frank? What's your thoughts on like where the transfer window is looking like it's going? And what do you want? What does Jacob want for Spurs?
I want Garnacho for Thomas Frank. That's what I want.
Really?
Yeah. That's his level. That's his speed. That's his
Well,
caliber. That's
Wait.
his shit. And everyone says, oh, you just let the yes man, the fucking Gucci belt of yes men, make sure he gets to say yes to everything. Yeah, daddy. Oh, dog chow. Nom, nom, nom. Good boy. Oh, I'm such a good dog, daddy. Tell me I'm a good boy. You're a good boy, Thomas. Thank you, daddy. You're such a good yes man. Such a good, I say yes so good, dad. And it's like, okay. Bro, there was a 9-minute video they dropped yesterday. The most bullshit, fluffy unicorn, Pinterest pillow fucking text I've ever seen in my goddamn life. We just got to be together and dream, guys. And hopefully, this is my favorite word he said about 17 times. Hopefully we have magic moments. Hee hee. What is this, a goddamn 1950s swing song? If your mechanic says, you know, your car's all busted up, I'm going to work on your brakes. Hopefully they'll
180,
stop your
bro.
car. Hopefully they stop your car next time. Or hopefully they don't fucking run off the road. Hee hee. Live, laugh, love, guys. Hee hee. And he dropped a stupid ass bar. He think he cooking. He really do. And the fans are lapping it up. So when you said fuck Tottenham, I would just like to extend that and say fuck Tottenham Hotspur fans. The ones who drink the Kool-Aid. The ones who said everything about, oh, you support Ainge, you're Ainge sexual. Well, you're a Francophile. All right? You need help. Seek help. You Frank sexual. You weirdo Ozempic Frankie Colts. Go back to the trailer park with Trash Can Tommy and fuck off. Because as far as I'm concerned, bang average manager, I'm like, if you would have asked me, before we hired Ainge, before I was a European champion, I'd probably been happy about Frank. I think he is a good manager, but that's about as high up as you can go up the motherfucking list. Good. Because his whole thing, like, I'm trying to deal in facts and not feelings, okay? Because that's all I heard. Jacob, stop letting your feelings crowd the judgment of the facts. Ainge is the worst manager ever. Oh, bread and butter. Oh, bread and butter is the league, baby. And it's like, we've never fucking won the league since Charlie Chaplin died. So what the fuck are we talking about? They're talking about bread and butter. That shit's moldy. I don't want to eat that. I want something new. I've never seen us compete on all fronts. And Daniel Levy and his pack of cronies, we did something and Ainge made history and he's a legend. But you know what? We got to be competitive on all fronts. And I'm like, when the fuck have we been competitive on all fronts? Because as far as I'm concerned, the Premier League, we're never going to win. And we challenged in 2 different competitions and won one of them. And then the 4th one, we got fucked up. So it happens. But we won a trophy. And it's a trophy that Tottenham have won now 3 times in 143 years. And all these fucking Spurs fans want to get up from that little hotel chair and start trying to say Melissa McCarthy ain't shit. Bitch, Melissa McCarthy is your level. They're talking about, yeah, but my standards are Margot Robbie. And it's like, you've never gotten Margot Robbie, but you're going to shit on what you do got, which is 3 Europas. It's not good enough. It's not good. Yeah, well, maybe because we've been shit for over 140 years. But no,
Okay,
let's
well,
just ignore that.
Let me ask you something. You did say something interesting in all of that I do want to like kind of pull out of it and just like magnify. Okay. Because I did listen, right? You said if it wasn't for Ange winning the Europa, you thought that Thomas Frank would be at least you thought he was at least a good manager.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Which, yeah.
For the standards of Tottenham, yes.
Like you said, good is good, right? Now, I don't agree with them sacking Ange, but we're already here, right? This is the way
you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. The dog's dead.
You can't change Levy's fucking decisions. You can't
Bald
change
fraud.
Levy's decisions to do anything, right? But we're here.
Shout out Jose.
What does it look like for Thomas Frank to succeed at Tottenham? Like, what does he need? And what does it look like?
Oh, I love that you asked this because success for Thomas Frank at Tottenham is just be relevant, guys. Hee. Just don't lose 20 games. Hee. You think normally like you win a trophy and then that's the point and the club says, okay, we can really push on from here and really start becoming the club that the fans really want us to be. But these fans, like, they are just excited to have a new manager in. Like, you don't need new shoes, but you bought new shoes and now you want to wear them anyway. And it's like, well, you don't have to, but they want to wear the shoes. And they're just excited that they're not the same pair of shoes. And to me, that's just not good enough. You say success. What has he been successful at in his fucking career? His second go around winning the playoffs in the championship. So he can't even win the championship. He can't even win a trophy. He's been coaching for 31 years and he has 0 fucking trophies. Tell me how that's supposed to incite me with pride. That's why they released that 9-minute fucking fluffy Pinterest piece where it's all unicorn and fairy dust. Fucking live, laugh, love FC. He's so nice, guys. Look at the way he talks. Not like a dirty, fat Australian guy, right? And he's like, yeah, oh, I love it. The way he just stares into your soul with his big ass lizard eyes. Motherfucking iguana. Have you ever seen Rango? The animated movie Rango with Johnny Depp? That fucking lizard, bro. That's him. That's Thomas Frank, the lizard man, the fucking weirdo. He's and again, I'm forced into this position because of all the bullshit I had to hear about my 3rd, 4th most successful manager in the history of this club's 143 years. They said all type of shit. And now, guess what? I hold a mirror up to a lesser than manager than Ainge. I don't care what you got to say about Ainge. When he managed that fucking Dunkel Porken, whatever the hell, Denmark team Danish that Frank is talking about, he didn't win shit. He was like, yeah, I've been around for 31 years. If I'm a fucking plumber and for 31 years, I don't have one customer that says, look at this, he did this for me. He fixed this pipe. Am I even a plumber? Do I just work with pipes and water?
You're still a plumber.
He's so good. He's so good at getting parts to be the parts of the plumbing. Oh, yay. That's part of the recruitment and scouting at Brentford.
So, Jacob, like, is there nothing this guy can actually do?
Win the Super Cup, pussy, is what I would say to him.
Well, you're not winning the Super Cup. Ange wasn't winning
Well, when the ball
Cup.
kicks off, there's a chance. It might be a minute, very minuscule chance, but
Ange wasn't going to have a chance.
Yeah, he was.
Super Cup
He was. Ange was
You
going to
weren't
bend that
beating
Super
him.
Cup. We could talk. We could talk in hypotheticals.
Gotten carved up.
That's your
I do wanna
opinion.
talk-
That's
I
your
do-
prediction.
I do
That's
wanna
not
talk
fact.
hypotheticals.
So my
I do
feeling is
wanna
he would
talk
have bent PSG over.
Okay, that's because
and
you're
we
an
would
Ange fan.
never know.
He would have given him that
Yeah.
chic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that chic
right.
deek.
So-
You know what I'm
and we
talking
would
about?
never know.
I
We
know
would
Joey's
never
trying to
know.
move forward, but with the Ange thing, if Ange stayed, because I know you're obviously upset that he left. If Ange
I'm not upset.
stayed-
I'm fine.
Ange stayed, it would have looked like Tottenham has become a cup team because you were fine with the success he had. You said, well, we don't win the league, right? But you weren't going to win the Champions League. That's more than likely. That's highly probable that you don't win the Champions League,
I would agree.
right? So
Yeah.
if you were a cup team again, that means you would have to win another cup to get back into Europe because your league form's not going to be able to do it. So I wanted to know what the idea would have been as progression for Ange, a semifinal, a quarterfinal run, qualify from the Champions League from the group stage. You finish 10th, and you
Top
hope that
half
you win the
finish in a
FA
League Cup, I think would be an improvement.
and then
Because
you
then that's
drop
2
down to
trophies
the-
in 2 years. Yeah.
But then you're back in the Conference League. That's not progression.
No, you win the
League
FA
Cup
Cup.
gets
We're
you
in
the
Europa.
But then you have to win the FA Cup, and if you're trying to get through in Champions League, these FA Cup
I guess my
games take the
question
back
is
burner.
you don't think Frank could do a League Cup in like 7th, 6th?
Not the cup, because I've never seen him have a cup run when he has 1 game a week. The fucking fraud. I've never
he's
seen
never
him
had the
manage 4
resources.
competitions. We're
He's
supposed to
never had
compete
the
on 4
resources to
fronts,
do that.
and let's go
Yeah,
get a
but
guy
he's
who's
never
never
had
done
the
that except in the championship for the Papa John's trophy. The
Yeah,
fuck?
but he's never had the resources that you're. This is a club.
He
You
won
gotta
the most
understand.
lucrative. No, I ain't buying this bullshit. All these goddamn financial experts telling me he does it off such a low tight budget. He says, "Yes, daddy, I'll take Kroger brand dog chow." No,
No,
he
bro.
won
They got
for
the
Brentford.
smallest stadium in the Prem.
He won.
They got the
He
smallest
won.
stadium in the Prem, bro.
Irrespective,
That's what I'm
he
talking
won
about.
the.
Financial. I don't need to be a financial expert to tell you that. I can go look it up on Google.
It's
I
more of
don't need
those
to be a
weirdo
expert.
Excel
And
sheet
it's
Spurs
smallest
fans. They're like, "Look, guys, we made a profit."
But like
It's like, no, we didn't. They made a
Brentford-
profit.
Bro,
You're
they
sitting here
have
talking
half
about
the
it.
size of the stadium compared to.
But listen to
everybody
me. Listen to me. The most
Brentford's
lucrative
money,
game.
but it's
Hang on,
just-
hang on. The most lucrative game in all of competitive sports. He won. They had a shit ton of money when he came up. I ain't buying this. He had a shoestring, but he won them
No, that's not
millions
how that
and millions of
works.
dollars.
That's not how that works, bro.
That's
You know
not
how Brentford
When you win the
how that
playoffs,
works.
that is
No,
how is it not?
Jacob,
How is it
listen,
not?
Jacob, let me tell you what happened. When they came up, right, they actually had to take the money that they got from coming up and put it into their stadium to make it big enough to allow them to be able to be in the league.
Similar to what Luton Town had to do.
I'm going to need some cited sources, and I'm going to need some financial figures in front of my face before I believe any of this. Because this is just people talking, as far as I'm concerned. I know you win a lot of money, and he won a lot of money, and then you talking about he broke. Nah, bitch, you just don't want to pay for Olive Garden.
Bro,
Bro, this is real. This is real. This is exactly what
Show
happened
me
to
the
Brentford.
proof then. If it's so
Okay,
real,
fine.
I say this is real. Here's a
Okay,
bottle. It
okay,
is real.
fine.
This has a lid. It is real.
Brentford
I'll
is one
show
of
it
those
to you. I'll show
innovators,
it to
bro. While Joey's looking that up, you gotta remember Brentford doesn't even have an
Again,
academy
he gets
team, bro.
credit for being so good at not sinking the boat completely, just staying alive. So good. So proud of you, guy. But also, it's not just him. They have a scouting department, a recruitment department that brings in players that they use that then everyone says, oh, I'd like him at my
Okay.
club. Like
What-
Embuemo, like Tony, like Visa, like Rico Henry, I think. Something Henry.
These are all they buy a bunch of championship superstars and players from the depths of Eastern Europe, and they
That's
turn
what
them into
Tottenham
these
do?
players. But Tottenham have more resources and more behind them to do that with. That's the
We
point.
spend more money on Brendan Johnsons. That's what I'm hearing. More money on Richarlison's.
But it
Whose
doesn't
signing
have to
was
be,
that?
yeah, like, and it doesn't have to be those players.
Antonio
It's the
Conte when
ability
we
to-
got Champions League, because Champions League gets so much pull. It's so
regardless
sexy. Everyone
of
wants to
who
come
the
here.
players were, and if they were successful, it's the ability to spend that money. Darwin Núñez was a waste of money, but it's the intent. You have a new manager. You would hope that the intent would be enough, and that you wouldn't make the same mistakes that you've made in the past.
Well, expecting a leopard to change their spots is just ridiculous. Like, of
Do you
course,
think your
Ainge
squad
gets
is better
sacked
than
after he
Brentford?
wins.
Do you think your squad's
I
better
think
than
it.
Brentford?
I think man for man, it's comparable. Absolutely.
No, you think it's better. Don't do this for the sake of the argument. You think Spurs side is better than Brentford.
In some areas, but I would take their entire front line over mine. I would take a midfielder or two over mine, and
So
even
you
a fullback
take Visa
over
over
mine.
Solanke?
I'd take Visa and Embuemo, and Sade's better than Richarlison. Like,
That's
we could
Sade's
do.
one.
I've done the man for man comparison.
No, but like Sade's one, but you're saying you take Wisa over Solanke.
Yeah,
Okay, that's one. All right, so you
Embuemo.
take Embuemo over Kulu.
whoever,
Okay.
Kulu don't
So
even. I don't even know where that motherfucker play anymore.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Damsgaard had a better year. Their 10 had a
Damsgaard's
better
better
year
than
than James Madison.
No, he's better. Damsgaard's better than Madison.
So
I
there's
just wanted to
another.
see your take on it.
I know. See,
I'm-
that's.
yeah.
But that Spurs fans have said, look what he did with nobody, but we're all getting wet in the giblets for whoever they got on their team. This doesn't
But
make sense to me.
Are they not nobodies anymore because of just good scouting, or has he had to develop those players?
What do you mean? I don't think it's
Like-
that black and white. Like, I think some of it is down to, yes, his coaching. The other part is down to a player's natural ability
They
to
had
progress.
to buy another stadium and move to this stadium to accommodate potential future growth, including promotion to the Premier League.
How much that
You don't
costs? Because that
understand,
seats about
they
as
did
much as
not
my
have
high school
to
football
size the
stadium.
stadium. They went from 12 to 17 just to be able to.
Joe, he wants to know the cost of the Brentford Community Stadium. Can you look that up for us, please?
How much did that cost? How much did this venture? Because I see you pulled up the proof. I didn't even know that they moved stadiums. But I need the money. Hey, yeah, we're gonna talk about this motherfucker broke. Let me see your bank account, son. Let me see
They're
the ins
not
and
broke.
outs,
They
the
just
withdrawals,
spend
the
money frugally,
deposits.
bro. They're very frugal in the money they spend.
Yeah, we're Brentford on steroids. I get it. He's gonna make us so relevant with no glory. It's gonna be fantastic. We're gonna be back to Pochettino
Brentford on
vibes.
steroids. I think you're West Ham on steroids.
Don't ever talk
serious.
to me like that. That's
You have a
disgusting.
massive
We're
stadium.
cool.
You have
We have a good.
huge-
We are friends, and you say that to me?
You're
Oh.
That's massive
fucked.
stadium.
That's fucked.
Your fans want more. Recent European success.
West Ham don't
Oh,
even
my
own their stadium. That's the city's.
It's still a big ass stadium.
And they got a track around it. I've never seen a track meet there.
It's an Olympic
They
stadium.
blow
What do you want?
bubbles.
Olympic
My children are growing out of bubbles.
Here we go. How much does it cost?
71
million.
million.
So they had 150 million to make an entire Prem squad.
Yeah, less than half that they spent to move and
Less than-
reconstruct.
Yes, exactly. They
still
cut
have to-
his budget right in half. Bro, do you understand how big that is? Not including all the other expenses that they're gonna have going into the Premier League. Like
What
Everyone
I'm hearing is a
getting
bunch of
salary
excuses,
raises.
a bunch of sympathy for a Pinterest fucking fluffy unicorn merchant. Guys, I hopefully
all
will
I'm
be able
gonna
to do.
say-
We're
all I'm
defending
gonna
your
say is-
manager.
All I'm gonna say is,
He's not my
Jacob-
manager. I didn't want him.
Oh, here we go.
all right, he doesn't have to be your manager. I think he'll win you over.
He has the chance to. I've left the door open, but if that pussy want to sit in the cuck chair, he ain't getting into the room.
Hey, it reeks of Hussam and
All right,
slaughterhouse.
so who
It
do you
reeks
want,
of
Jacob?
Hussam
Who do you
slaughterhouse.
want for Spurs to do better? Not because
If
of
we
who the manager is, because it
correct,
could be a new manager in 6 months, and you get the manager you want.
definitely
hire
maximum
Ange
of 18 months.
back. They
Who's
hire
your
Ange
manager
back
that's
in
not
6 months,
Ange?
okay?
Yeah.
Jacob, they hire Ange back in six months, okay? He doesn't give a
No,
fuck.
they
to me.
won't. They
I
won't. And
know,
they
but
shouldn't because then that's a step backwards as well.
Don't do that. You can't do that.
But just for the conversation, okay? What does Spurs do to improve this team?
So when we were doing the whole manager shuffle, the only reason I would have picked Areola over Thomas Frank was because I can't wait for when everyone says Areola out, and then it's just like, get them titties out, baby. Let me suck them titties, baby. That'd have been great. Areola's out, baby. Let me suck them titties. And but on a serious tip,
That's a good one,
you know,
son.
if we're supposed to be this big
Yeah.
club, we're supposed to be this big club that everyone likes to fantasize that we are. I don't
Big
think that we
Areola.
actually are. I think we're like the lowest tier of big club. I think we're like the guys who got into the dance at the right before they closed the door. You know, we're like, ain't supposed to be here, but we're here.
You the guy, you the short guy with all the money. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some money. Hey, but I ain't gonna spend it neither. And if I do, I'm gonna spend it on bullshit.
Shout out Mons. Hella bottles, no bitches.
Yeah, hella bottles, no bitches. This short guy, no bunch of money.
So
Yeah.
I really felt like, okay, you want to sack Ainge for 17th? Whether I agree or disagree, I can get on board and understand the sentiment of 17th in the league is fucking insane. Like, legitimately insane. And I feel like the contextual evidence surrounding it was enough for me to justify the end result, which was, again, European glory, which is, you know, what the game is about, glory. To then go to a guy whose best attribute you can point to is he says yes so good. That is a step back. They say, oh, well, we didn't know what Poch was when we signed him. That's 11 years ago. 11 years ago.
Bro.
He's okay, yeah, he goes, he's grateful about it. That's you're right. Thank you, Daddy.
Fucking hates you.
No, Spurs fans hate me too. Just back the manager, Jacob. Oh, just back the manager. No, fuck you.
He's actually really good at developing players, like overall. Like,
well, then I don't want to hear no fucking Spurs fan complain about Matthias Tell, but they all did. I don't want to hear him complain if we get Garnacho.
Like that type of shit, bro. I don't understand because, like, if you're building a project of young players, which that's exactly why you bring Thomas Frank in to build a project of young players, like Matthias Tell for $35 million in the end, like that's really like not that bad. $45 million in the end, like bro, like most of these wingers are going for a little bit more than that, like a little bit less, a little bit more. Like if you don't like the player, that's fine. But if the manager likes the player and he thinks he can do something with it, then like there was a lot of talent that was supposed to be able to come out of this kid. Like you might as well try your luck because it's not like you can't get a decent chunk of it back if you sell him because he's still really young.
Yeah, I mean, 19 years old. You sign him to a 6-year deal. And I actually liked the signing. I was on board if you could get it less than what they were originally for 30 mil. It's less than 30 million pounds, by the way. It was 30 million euros. So it's less than 30 million pounds. You get a potential starter in the team. I'm fine with that. My thing is, I like half of my battle is just fighting the narrative of the other Spurs fans because their logic doesn't add up. They don't match their energy.
Don't speak to me like I'm another Spurs fan because I'm not going to speak to you like you're just some random person either. You know what I'm saying? You watch enough football. I watch a lot of football. I watched your team enough this year to understand where you guys are kind of at. If you wanted my opinion on what your team needs, it's the number 6 position. Like, you need a 6 better than any other position in football. Like, to be honest, you should be playing Basuma and all these other guys in more of a box-to-box role. And that's where I see this potentially end up being for you is, like, you have all these box-to-box players. Probably one of them gets shaven off. If it's Basuma, if it's Bentancur, if it's Sarr, which I doubt it's Sarr. Like, that's the one I
Probably
be
Basuma or Bentancur.
it'll probably be either Basuma or Bentancur. But
I think
I see
Basuma
one
might
of
be
these
the one.
players. I see one of these players being left out, and you buying a 6. And even if that 6 is Norgard, don't that's the falsitudes of where your football club thinks they are. Like if you get a Norgard, you're gonna be in a way better position this year than you expect, because that is a guy who can play the style of football that
Will he win me
man,
trophies? Is he a trophy winner?
bro. You need a baby steps because
Bro, you need
Baby
stability,
step? Fuck
bro.
you mean? What am I
You're
gonna go
not
back
winning
to?
a trophy next year. You need
what
stability.
what trophy?
They said
what
that
trophy-
last year. Everyone said that last year too. But guess what we did? What
It doesn't
everybody said we
matter.
shouldn't.
You
It doesn't
finished
matter. I
17th.
think that you could win a trophy regardless, just based off of the talent, based off of overall talent. But there's profiles that are missing.
Who's
in your
the
football.
talent in our team? Who's our top 5 talent out of our 11?
What's top 5 in the Prem?
Bergvall.
Kulusevski. Most people
Bergvall.
would agree that he's been largely inconsistent. He was our best player for the first half of the season.
I don't care.
He got injured and then
his legs, bro.
I don't
got
care,
run
bro.
into the
I know.
ground, and the new system,
I've seen this guy manage these types of 10s before. Like I'm not. This is what I
Does
need.
he see Kulu as a 10, or does he see him as the winger of a forward
No,
like
he's a 10.
Sweden and like Juve and
He's a
like
10.
everyone else?
Because you guys are looking for right wingers. That's why I know he's looking at him as a 10.
But we just spent 55 million on a right winger who won us the Europa League.
Wait,
No, Thomas Frank is going to be able to improve him and make him a go, right?
You're gonna need depth. You're gonna need depth.
Who's the ringer? Tell plays left and striker.
Yep.
Brennan Johnson.
But that was last year. You need to add to the squad. You won the Europa League. Now you've set a platform. You need to build on that, but you need to stabilize your club. Right now, you guys are too volatile.
Stabilize my club.
1 year you finished 4th, another
stabilize your club.
The fuck does that mean to me?
I'll tell you what it means. I'll tell you what it means, bro.
Reverse osmosis.
I'll actually tell you what it means. I'll tell you what it means is when there's injuries, you don't look at the bench and you see nobody.
Yeah, that's a systematic issue that's been here since before any manager we've talked about today.
You have at this current moment, Jacob. You adding a 6 that doesn't get injured, who's a steady Eddie, who's going to be able to come in and play.
We sold him last year, Hoiberg. He was top of the charts in all the 6 position shit we needed.
My problem. This is not my problem. My problem is right now. That's my problem. If I'm fixing the problems for right now, that's what I'm talking about. You want me to talk about what your football club's been doing for the last 10 years? We could be here all fucking day. But this is what we're talking about right now. Okay? Right now, you don't have a 6. You sold them, like you said. You don't have one. Okay? There's a couple of them you could get. Frank Onyeka. There's links to all over fucking football for Frank.
Go get Douglas Luiz.
Links for you guys this week. Fantastic footballer. Played in Belgium. Young player from a Nigerian player. Great 6. You can get there's plenty of them. Morten Frendrup from Genoa. There's plenty of them. Plenty of them. But you need someone of that profile because you don't have that at all. Okay? You don't have that at all. Guess what? You only have one real right winger in this system. That's the truth. Because he's going to play Kulu in the middle. Because if he doesn't, then you're going to play Madison in the middle. Now you have 2 spots that you have an injury-prone player in. 2 spots. It's not like Kulu's injury history is great. I love him as a footballer, but his injury history isn't this greatness. Same with Madison. You got 2 players that are injury-prone. Yeah, you need a right winger. It's the truth. Because then if you don't necessarily have to rely on Brendan Johnson then. Because you have a right winger. Or you have Kulu. Then you have Brendan Johnson as the third option if inshallah something happens. You don't think of it, but you don't think of, what's wrong with my team? There's a fuck ton wrong with your team. Otherwise you wouldn't be in 17th. That's why we say stabilize your football team because you don't have people in specific positions.
I
Hey,
don't buy this stabilize though. That's
Who's the backup to Poro?
Jed
Who's
Spence.
the backup to fucking Udogi?
Jed Spence.
Exactly.
Thank you. That's our point. That's my point.
So Joey's shouting and he's making
And
his
Jed
point,
Spence.
But then you say like you don't want to stabilize. So what the hell do you do? Because
No,
you're not going to spend
but maybe
80
it's
mil per
just
player.
that fucking keyword link. Maybe it's just that word stabilize
got-
because
you-
that don't
bro,
mean shit to me because that's what Pochettino came in and did. He stabilized me so good. What the fuck does that lift? What the fuck armpit did I get to see? Not one.
But guess what, Jacob? Guess what?
I'm a vampire. I tasted blood. I ain't going back to salad.
Jacob, that entire team got to do this. So now they got that feeling. They got the feeling of this. That's not a monkey on their back no
And then
more.
whenever your arms are lifted, you know what Levy did? Punch him right in the gut. Now I got fucking Lizard Man in videos eyeballing players like he's trying to eat them. He's eyeballing James Madison like he a fucking 3-piece meal. Eyeballing James Madison like he goddamn want to take a little sliver out of that. What we doing?
So what do we do? Where do we go?
So what
from here,
players
Jacob?
do you want, Jacob?
I really like Muhammad Kudus because he'll slap a motherfucker. We saw that firsthand.
Okay, I like that.
I think he's a hell of a player. I was really jealous when he went to West Ham in the first place. I thought that was a guy who could come in and immediately start making an impact for us. He still got a little bit raw roughness around the edges in regards to like final third and decision making. But I love a fucking winger who wants the ball at his feet and wants to run through people. I love that. That's a part of the game that I miss. And I'm tired of this kick and run type winger, Brennan Johnson, that we have. I'm tired of that shit. And, you know, Odebert and Tell are not good enough, but they're our two best dribblers of the ball. So whoever we bring in, I would like to be, the best dribbler of the ball. That's not a high feat to get to. And I think Kudus comes in and he immediately becomes that. I've heard Ezzy, but no one's linked us with Ezzy except these weird Frank sexuals. Because we didn't get him last year. We're not going to get him this year. Semenyo's been. I would love me some Xavi Simmons. The only thing that makes me a little reluctant.
Under Ange. I could.
Well, Ange ain't here no more. So Old Yeller's dead.
Like
his brains are all over the desert highway.
Xavi is an Ange attacker.
I meant to say fucking Frank because he could play inside forward at a pretty high level. And that would be.
And he can play 10, and he can play off the left. I love Xavi Simons. I've been following that guy.
It gives you like the opposite feel to Kulu. So like if like you could play all three of them at the same time if you wanted in this system, the way that it works out. But you could play two inside forwards and the deep advanced playmaker.
Yeah, and I can move a bunch of magnets around on my fridge and look like Thomas Frank, but it's all going to matter what he does.
I can do that too. I'm a tactician. This is what I do. I play football.
I know. I'm just making fun. I'm just making fun of Frank because they're like, look at him go, and he's like with the magnets on his little magnet board, like, and I'm like, bro, I see my kids do that shit all day on the fridge. What does that mean to me? Let me see a damn trophy. I'm very simple. I'm very easy. I'm not a hard date. I'm not going to make it all complicated for Thomas Frank to win my heart. Buy me damn food, talk to me nicely, win a damn cup. Now he's talking a little too nicely, like he's reading off a fucking script. You ever been to Ross? You know the oversell place where there's just like other shit goes to. They got all that live, laugh, love. There's those fuzzy pink pillows that say "Dream on, dreamer. Dream a little dream of me. Magic moments. Hee hee." This is all shit he said yesterday in that fucking interview. This is who we got. Not a guy who's gonna come in and put it. No, I like a man to come in and say, "Hey, I win in my second year, pussies."
Jacob.
He said, "Guys, we could hopefully have magic moments." Hee hee. What is this, Disneyland?
Jacob.
This magic moment when I look into your eyes.
He's crashing out.
This magic moment. That's what he was telling me about. I listened, bro. I went through his entire interview for 2 hours dissecting the words that came out this man's mouth. Number one, he looked down.
Why?
Because I'll tell you why, Joey.
Jacob, you want to know the best thing I ever did? I stopped listening to the interviews for Enzo Maresca. Guess what happened? He did what I needed him to do. You think
Well,
Enzo Maresca?
I don't know if that's cause and effect, but I'm sure your like mental stability was a lot better. But I wanted to see
more than Enzo Maresca.
Enzo Maresca has more trophies to his name, if that's the question. I've looked it up, trust me. Because when you go to transfer market, accomplishments, there's stuff there for Marco Silva, for Maresca, for every manager. Most managers, if they've been managing for fucking 31 years, there's something there. You go to Frank's and it looks like the page is still loading. You think your Wi-Fi went out. So my point is, based off of what am I supposed to think he's going to win any fucking thing unless we're in the championship playoffs for a second time? Then he might win that. But also, I shouldn't get so upset.
Jacob. I'm going to tell you something. You're going to buy Nani from us and you're going to fucking like it. Right? That's what's going to end up happening. You're going to end up buying Nani from us. You're going to end up liking it. You have all these links to Arsenal. Nani used to play for you guys in the other side of that part of this. You were also linked in that article. So it wouldn't surprise me after we went and bought Kudus that you guys got Nani from us. Okay? That's where this is going. All right?
Perfect. That's Frank's level. Spurs fans should be happy about that. Spurs fans better be fucking jacking it like they did for Thomas Frank. Because guess what? That's his fucking level. That's his fucking shit. This is the guy who's such a good McDonald's burger flipper, and you talk about taking him to Benihana's to flip meat. Nah. Take his bitch ass to McDonald's. Burger King, maybe, tops. I ain't taking this motherfucker to Benihana. So good. Give me Nani. Give me Garnacho. Give me other basic mid-level fucking players, and let me see Thomas Frank make us relevant. Because that's what he's supposed to be able to do. That's what everyone sold him on. Let me see it. And don't be complaining, because I guarantee all those little moist lips are going to dry up real quick when they see fucking Nani and Garnacho come in the door. They're going to get real fucking dry. And talking about, oh, he just spoke so good. The reason I watched that stupid fucking painstaking 9-minute long interview, the reason I watched that fucking garbage was, first of all, they be talking all this shit. They be talking all that shit. And I'm going to hold the candle to the motherfuckers who were talking all that shit. And so I'm like, okay, let's see how this man conducts himself. Ange Postecoglou, oh, you son of a bitch, you look down. He looked down 7 times in 9-minute interview. So where do we go from here? His hands, he was doing a lot of this, not necessarily hands in his pockets. So I can forgive that, I guess, because he's doing like the big, you didn't see me, Joe, but he's doing like the big titty symbol with his hands. He's like, when he was talking. So I'm cool with that. But no hands in the pockets, so I didn't see that. But it was like, I was watching Spurs YouTubers talking about how, oh my God, guys, aren't we all just so Frank in after that interview? Don't we all just love him more? Yeah, I think Spurs fans are gonna be so Frank sexual now, and they're all gonna want Frank, and anyone who didn't like Frank, you can't watch that interview and not like him. So I said, okay, I'll do it live. Let's see if I can watch this interview and not like him. And I like him a lot less now after listening to him waffle, yap for 9 minutes about fucking nothing. There's 2 things he said in there that I can take away from. And 9 minutes of yapperoni pizza. This is 2 slices I could take away. He said, I want to make the Tottenham place a fortress. Cool. That's something I can hold you accountable to. Not hopefully a magical moment. Hee hee. Hopefully we all together on this journey. Sounded like a goddamn Twitter admin for Arsenal.
Yep. Okay.
We're going to be bro, he is an off-brand. He is an Arteta,
so he's going to
bro.
be better defensively, right? That's what you can hold him to. And what was the second piece?
Allegedly, but his goal differential in 150 some Premier League matches is +2. So he's
that's not
+2.
That's not how you look at things.
Well, I'm looking at him very factually. Factually, he's lost more games in the Premier League than he's won. Fact.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, but
facts over feelings. I don't care how you feel about Brentford.
Right,
I don't care what the feelings are. He's so, hey Jude, hee hee. No, he's lost more than he's won. So if the standard is to compete on all fronts, you get a guy who's never competed in 4 comps. You get a guy who's never won a trophy. You get a guy who doesn't have a winning record in the Premier League. You get a guy whose best asset is dealing with mid. Cool. Supply that motherfucker with mid and let's see what happens.
All right. Well,
9 minutes of goddamn dream a little dream of me. I swear to God, he had his top 5 Pinterest quotes bookmarked on his fucking phone, and he was like, "Hang on," and the little cheeky bastard's face whenever he said the line,
I
bro.
tried to the crazy part is I knew that I was trying, like, before this all started, I tried to, like, keep this, like the top on of the pot. Like, I tried
flew
as
off.
hard
Yeah. Oh.
to keep the top on the pot. Like, I knew it was boiling under there, but I tried my hardest to keep that top. But
Dude, that 9-minute video, they all said it's going to make you love him, Jacob. You're going to love him. He's going to be talking about sunshine, rainbows, lollipops, and fucking jock straps, and we're all going to love it. And I listened to it, and it pissed me off. A bunch of bullshit.
Jacob, I do still believe he's going to win you over by, like, game week 10.
No. This is the fun part, because in every statistical comparison I'm going to do, I'm going to negate his first 10 Premier League matches, because that's what we do at Tottenham. Because they say, "Oh, guys," because in every fucking dick lip motherfucker that was talking about Ange Postecoglou, they did his points. Just take away those first 10 games. Look at his points since. Look at his table since. It's like, you can't just take it away. It's like you don't put the Europa Trophy to one side.
I actually do think he's a good manager, bro. Like, I don't think he's like this terrible manager. Can I guarantee that he's gonna win you a trophy? Like, no, but can't really guarantee that Ange's gonna do it next year either, right? Like,
I mean, if an alcoholic ain't stopped drinking for 31 years, am I supposed to think just because he came here, he's supposed to stop drinking? The answer is no.
I just think he has the capability of progressing you as a football club.
And I have the capability of being a multimillionaire. Do I think it's gonna happen? No.
But that doesn't mean I didn't think that about Maresca, and look, he proved me the fuck wrong.
I like Maresca. He talked like a big boy, put his big boy pants on, and didn't fuck around with people's feelings. He said, "Give me that shirt, Sterling."
It wasn't like that in the beginning.
Bro, I saw from my outside perspective. Granted, I did not know or listen as much as y'all, right? But I just saw him snatch that 7 out of Sterling, and we couldn't fucking snatch an 8 from Harry Winks, and we didn't even want him here. We were too scared. He's one of our own guys. Don't be mean to Harry Winks. Think about Harry Winks' feelings if you take the number 8 away. Sergio Reguilon didn't even play, and he gets
Wasn't that under Ange?
Ange got rid of that motherfucker. That's why I loved him, because he got rid of the losers I've been crying about for years, except for Ben Davies, that son of a bitch. But
to be fair,
Harry Winks, Eric Dyer, Ryan Mason, the list goes on. He got all the fuckers out.
Enzo Maresca bought Harry Winks and won the championship with him.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, that's his level. That's Harry Winks' level, is a guy who can compete for the best team in the championship and then get relegated with them the following year, because that's exactly what he fucking did. And guess what? They took Oliver Skip at the same time. Congratulations.
There you go. Well, you got.
And so, like,
you guys could buy players. Like, I don't see why
we could. It's our wage structure that hinders us. Because if we came in and offered as much money as the other guys offer per week, a lot more good players would come here.
But I'm going to be honest, Jacob. If it comes down to Kudus, I think we beat you to Kudus.
Probably. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like, we're so much bigger than the Chels. Because literally, my best memory is Dele Alli fucking whatever many years ago that was. Outside of that, there's no good memories versus Chelsea. Shout out Dele Alli, man, my fucking goat.
You got us once, bro. You got us like once.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A magic moment that we'll remember forever. That's what Frank wants to give me. That one time we beat that one team. That one time
we have a terrible record against Frank. Like, as a football club, we have a terrible record.
Well, hey, he's got on my birthday we play. So Thomas Frank, you want to give me a fucking birthday present? Give me a goddamn win versus Chelsea, because I ain't seen that shit in a long motherfucking time.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Jacob. I'm gonna end it here. Link had to head out. I think he's going to a second.
Live, laugh, love, guys. Hee hee. Just back the team. Hee hee.
We will come back to this, Jacob.
I've been spamming that in chats. Just back the manager. Hee hee.
Game week 12. Game week 15, I'm coming back to this. I'm telling you this right now. Like, we're coming back to this. You're not
win the Super Cup, and he become my little Tommy gun. I'll take him out the trash can. He become my little Tommy gun.
Win the Super Cup. That shit would be crazy, bro.
I've already
I would-
said I will get his wrinkly river map looking face with
You
teeth
would
right
not,
here.
bro. You would not.
I already
get
said it. That in my rant of like this is a failure move by us. I guarantee we won't. But if for some reason I will never say another bad word about that motherfucker, because my thing is I want what we had. To do it again with or without Ainge is not a big deal to me. It's like people get so hung up on like, oh, he's wearing the fucking dangly Australian hat.
Yeah.
He. No, I mean, I think it's just funny.
It's just
And
goddamn-
bro, it rattles a lot of people. They're like, someone commented on my video yesterday. They're like, these videos are getting weird, mate. You just need to bet. It's always back the team. Blah blah blah. I was like, yeah. Where did I say I didn't back the team? I just said I want us to be better than we are. Like, I think my friend shouldn't be a crackhead, and if he smokes crack, I'm gonna be like, stop it. Don't do that. Stop smoking crack. You're better than this.
On that
And guess
note,
what?
Everyone, adios. We're ending the stream here.
Frank out. Fuck.